Hello, everyone. Welcome to another round of the Galactic Podracing circuit for 2021. My name's Game Director today, and joining me on commentary for the first time is Nuck, who's been a really impressive rookie runner.
Well, thank you for the kind words. Doing my best. Should be an interesting match to watch. I don't know a whole lot about jogilbee. Obviously, Nacho is a long-time runner of this game and an expert at no upgrades, so I would expect to see him force that if he ever drops a track.
Yeah, and jogilbee really just came out of nowhere to just challenge everyone. It's just insane because his qualifying times, we're totally out of the blue. He just joined like maybe at the start of this month, entered the qualifying, came in mid-pack.
Yeah, it put up some very impressive times, it seems. So we'll have to see how this match goes. All right, and it looks like they elected to start on a Spice Mine Run, which it's maybe a low to mid difficulty track. There are some portions that can catch you off guard, especially with the minecart in the nice downhill tube. But the big thing to look for is their heat management near the end of the lap as they go through the actual mining section into the tunnels. It can be very, very difficult to actually use all of your heat through there.
The track is also deceptively easy because it's so straight. It just lulls you into a full sense of security and that sucker punches you. I think we're off. Yep. jogilbee, about 10-second head start. And Nacho's now off. Both of them look like they know the faster route.
Okay, and sync should come through in just a moment. But yeah, you definitely want to take that right path there. Gives you a much better line, and it's just shorter.
Yeah, the goal is to come off of that speed boost, then floor the boost on the speed spike down this path.
Yeah, and it looks like jogilbee overheated himself a bit before that downward tunnel, so Nacho getting a longer boost through there, and it looks like jogilbee will have some difficulty keeping his heat through the tunnel.
Yeah, he didn't time it quite that well, so Nacho's on really high heat.
Nacho with a 1:14 first lap and 1:20 for jogilbee, so reasonably close for now, but Nacho is ahead. A couple of mistakes could put him behind again, but I wouldn't expect those of him.
Yeah. Probably going to come down to the final lap because the dozer's always in a really precarious spot in the final lap if you somehow don't manipulate the cutscene. That's the problem jogilbee's having. He was boosting on the speed part, which you're not supposed to do on this track. You're supposed to use that to cool down. Then as soon as you come off the speed spike for the boost, and he crashes.
Yeah, unfortunate death there. This mine section right here with the jagged edges can really confuse you. And if you slam into one of those walls, it's head on. You're just done for.
Whoa!
Wow. Unexpected crash from Nacho there. But he still manages a 1:19 across the second lap. And thank you to those in the chat. Welcome. Sorry, go ahead.
Dozer was not quite in the same precarious position because of that crash.
Yeah, it's funny. It's almost helpful. Makes that dozer much easier to dodge. And yeah, I see Ace in chat saying SMR is one of, or Spice Mine Run, I should say, is one of Nacho's better tracks, and you can really tell. You can see he's basically at max heat coming into this tube. He's using everything he's got. All right, and a 347 with I I wonder if
One
that's an
death.
actual fastest lap for him there. It flashed yellow, that 112 on the third lap.
Yeah. 347.499. Joe will be coming in with 403. Okay. We have our first perma ban. NachoBrado banning Bunta Classic.
That makes a lot of sense. That is a very tough track with a lot of places where you can make a mistake and lose some time.
Vengeance from jogilbee.
The killer track of the amateur circuit.
Nacho banning Abyss.
Yeah, he was doing that the other day against me as well. It seems like he's either just doesn't like the track or doesn't feel confident there.
Oh, you gotta tell me. I hate that track.
I think it's a smart ban. It's unless you're doing skips, and even then, if you make a mistake on that track, it's what, a 15-second penalty lap?
More
And-
like 30 seconds, and Bumpy's Breakers as the next perma ban.
Okay. Final track of the semi-pro circuit. Bumpy's is one of the harder tracks. There's some places where you can really get yourself messed up there.
Okay, now jogilbee is gonna go into the pod ban.
We'll see. This is always interesting for the underdog to ban a pod. Because banning Ben, which you would think would be the obvious move, might not actually be that advantageous for you, since the next fastest pod is the significantly harder to use Bull's Roar.
Yeah.
And given that Nacho is such a no upgrade specialist, he is very familiar with playing Bulls. I'll be curious to see where jogilbee decides to take Nacho. I know Nacho is pretty confident on amateur circuit. Some of his better times are there. And he banned me down to semi-pro for our first race in our match the other day. Banning
Bullseye!
Bullseye. Okay, that could suggest a few things. Bullseye is useful for a couple tracks, and Nacho very intelligently
Baru
bans Baru Coast. Ben Quadraneros is technically faster than Bullseye on Baru Coast, but it is a brutally difficult track to try and play with Ben.
Yeah.
So just getting that out of there in case.
Gravine Gateway, no forces. I guess we're gonna see
Ooh.
Neba Key.
Yeah, I guess we will. That's very interesting.
Because this is something I know Nacho is infamous for doing. He will ban Bullseye, then take you to Gravine Gateway or Fire Mountain Rally, which are the only two tracks where Bullseye is fastest on.
Oh, really? Wow, so then jogilbee may have fallen into a trap here. I would bet that he was banking on Nacho not being familiar with anyone other than Bullseye on Grapevine or potentially Fire Mountain Rally if he decides to go there later.
Yeah.
Oh, jogilbee. Okay, he's hovering Elan Mac there a little bit. Looks like he's not really sure what pod he wants to take here.
And Nacho going right away with Neba Key.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense.
Slide! Eee.
Slide Param. Wow. Well, we'll see how that goes. That's going to be interesting to
Eats up.
watch.
Neba Key he heats up really. Slide Pyramida heats up faster than any other pod, and has one of the worst boost thrusts in the game. He has only a boost thrust of 200, with only Eevee, Sebulba, and Juan sandwiched lower and tied with Anakin. They always said about how banning Ben can be counterintuitive on most tracks, but I think in this case, banning Bullseye can be counterintuitive if you do Fire Mountain Rally or Gravine Gateway.
Right. Well, and it seemed like he didn't really know what pod he wanted to go to after he banned Bullseye. He hovered several.
Yeah.
Elan Mac would also potentially be a choice here. Mahonic. Although Niviki is definitely the safest after Bullseye.
Yeah. I think it's... I know the three fastest pods on this track are Bullseye, Niviki, and Mars Guo.
That all makes sense. Those are all pods with fantastic handling, which, as you will see, is imperative on this track, and the reason that Bullseye is the fastest here.
Also, it's high boost thrust, too. Neva's 280, Bullseye's 300, and Mars is 315. And Slide is just... Slide is just 200 with Anakin. So, he doesn't go that far. Ooh, and right into the warning because Slide is also the most fragile pod in the game, even more fragile than Bullseye.
Right, there we go. Sync should come through in just a second.
Already you can see Nacho ahead just because of Neva, and Nacho is very familiar with Neva Key Gravine Gateway and Fire Mountain Rally, since this is almost his favorite force in its own right to do.
Coming to the end of lap 1 for both players, and Nacho with a 130
with Neva Key.
That is quite fast for a pod other than Bullseye. Oh, little bonk there. That's so easy to do. Bonk there and lose that boost. Those turns are extremely tight on very narrow paths.
There we go, the Quake shortcut.
Oh, Nacho with a crash and the bad respawn.
Slammed right into the wall.
Another one! Oh my gosh.
Wall. Oh, and there he goes. Ooh, both get the bad respawn. Are they gonna attempt it? Yes, they both attempt it.
Well, Jogobee's made back some time with that, with only one crash there. That is that. Or good.
Yeah. Well, Neva Key's easy to crash with because his acceleration is so energetic.
True, yes. He is quite whippy if you don't know, or if you're not used to using him. Oh, wow, Nacho crashes again in the swamp.
In the warning. Massive in the red. Slide does repair the fastest of every pod.
Jogilbee is not doing too poorly in these back-to-back hairpins in the swamp. That looked pretty alright. Looks like he's fairly comfortable here, at least.
And 138.
Yeah, those two deaths on that lap 2 shortcut, which the reason you didn't see the racers go for that little gap in the wall on the first lap is that it opens up in the second. Crash across the finish line. 145 for Jogilbee, which, I don't know, that sounds quite reasonable for Slide Pyramida. I think his first was a 140.
Oh, that was an awful respawn Nacho got.
Jeez, he must have been right at the back. Wow! Fails the...
No!
lap 2 shortcut again, and with the extra bad death.
Yes.
This is
Wow.
very surprising.
Okay. He crashed beforehand. Let's see what he does. Ooh, misses it.
But no crash, so doesn't lose too much time there.
Ooh, crashes into the swamp. Really easy to do.
Yeah,
Whoa.
those branches will get you, and then he gets turned around there, which is very easy to have happen to you as you're going back through so many hairpins back to back like that. The swamp can be very deceptive.
And there we go. And Nacho's in the clear.
Alright, should be bringing this home shortly.
Whoa! Oh!
Oh, another. Well, that's how.
457.
That's just what grab vinyl do to you. You get even to the end where it should be, quote unquote easy, and jogilbee crashing in a similar way.
Yeah.
No part of this track is friendly or easy.
It's considered the hardest track in the game. Heck,
All right,
both said
yeah.
too many crashes.
Still a respectable 518.9 for jogilbee.
Yeah. That's actually pretty decent, I think, with Sly when he's so slow.
Yeah, I wonder how much better he would have done with the Neva key pick, or as Ace says in chat, Mars Guo is actually a little faster than Neva, but I would guess significantly less safe with those giant engines. See if jogilbee tries the same thing again and goes to Fire Mountain Rally. That track shares a number of its turns with, and other sections for that matter, with Gravine Gateway, as you just saw, though in reverse.
Yeah. It's a bit longer, though it's a little bit straighter, though you have to worry about falling into the lava and catching on fire.
Yes, those lava sections are horrible because you fall into them, they slow you down, they heat up your engines, but they don't kill you. So you don't end up crashing, you don't end up respawning, you just lose so much time. It's worse than a normal crash.
Yeah. And you stay over the lava too long, or if you boost over it, you'll catch fire.
Yeah, in fact, the rare both engines catching fire, that's one of the only ways that can happen to you. Alright, jogilbee bans
Banning
Mars
Mars.
Glow.
Mars Grow.
Okay. Mars is a common safety pick. Nacho bans Gauntlet. I wonder if he's expecting jogilbee to pick skips somewhere, as Mars Guo is one of the better pods for several of the skips in the game. Looks like we have a pinball enthusiast in chat. Pinball Whiz. Was there a pod racing themed pinball machine that you had access to when you were younger? Endo Prime Centrum. All right, that's a track I don't think we've seen in these tournament matches so far.
Yeah. This track, I honestly find deceptively hard because there are so many routes in it, and if you don't know the correct route, you'll lose.
Yes, there are many branching paths, and the correct one is, of course, the hardest one to take.
It's also one of the few parts of the game where you have to use the brakes.
Yes. This and the previous track are two of the tracks where you actually can't go flat out the whole time.
And Fire
This is
Mountain Rally
also
is the other one.
one of... Yes. Endo Prime Centrum is also unique in the Adobe tracks in that it is the only track that doesn't share a starting area or indeed any other of its portions with the other Andobi tracks, which does mean that the infamous tent shortcut is not something you need to take here.
And you don't have to worry about the infamous ice either.
All right, and it looks like they're off.
And not much of a difference either, just a second. Okay, this is where it starts branching off. Do they know the correct path? Oh, looks like Joby skipped a few streams. Well,
Yeah, it looks like he lost frames there. Oh, yeah, brutal crash there.
And flying through the pillar. That's actually absurdly easy to do.
Yeah, they just forgot to put collision at the top of it. Interesting. Nacho going around the left side there.
I know I did that back in the day when I actually got world record in it back then, but it's actually slightly faster to take the right path now.
Yeah, that's why I'm interested that he headed that way. The right path isn't significantly harder to take either. You can boost the whole way through it.
Yeah.
Okay, Nacho looking all right into that turn, but had to ease off the accelerator quite heavily, so lost a bit of speed.
Got a bad
Ooh,
angle.
yeah.
I couldn't get the best line.
Yeah, bad bonk there, eats his boost. Yeah, jogilbee taking a conservative line past that bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them heading to the left side of the building there.
This hairpin might be a maker breaker for Nacho this lap because he's on an orange engine. Oh, he crashed right before it. Never mind.
Well, that's one way to get your engines repaired. Oh, another! Wow. I think he knows he's under a little bit of pressure now, and he's starting to take some more aggressive lines. He's actually
red engine
just
for
barely
jogilbee.
ahead. Yeah, he'll repair that, though, in a section where it's already difficult to hold the boost, so not a terrible time loss. This is going to end up being a very close race thanks to those crashes from Nacho.
247. 252.
Yeah, very impressive time to only be 5 seconds behind there. Okay, and we're right into bans again. Joke will be banning Mars Guo again.
Bang Gauntlet again.
Yep, same as last time. Again, I think that's smart. Mars Guo is quite good at the safe version of the Gauntlet skip. And as some of you probably saw the other day, in mine and Nacho's catastrophic Gauntlet match, that is something I think Nacho is not feeling very confident on right now.
Inferno, no forces.
Interesting.
You could probably expect Ben, Bowles, Elon Mack, or Mahonic here.
Inferno is... Wow, that's interesting. jogilbee is taking us to a lot of invitational circuit tracks, which I suppose I would have expected a relative newcomer to be less comfortable on those, as it's the last course in the game, and has some very difficult and very weird tracks in it, with the exception of Gauntlet, which isn't terribly difficult.
Yeah. Well, I will note, too, that Inferno, technically, you could, theoretically, save all the invitational tracks for last, run Inferno first, then complete Abyss, Gauntlet, and Endoprime Centrum after that.
Yes, which is in fact the route for the 100% speed run.
Just
You head there as
because,
fast as you can, yep.
yeah, and Inferno is the last track you unlock in the game. And it's also the place where you'll unlock Ben Quaternaros, who's the best pod in this game.
Yeah, it's funny. You spend basically the entire 100% speedrun playing Mars Guo, and then finally, for the last 3 tracks, you get to play Ben. Alright, they should be starting momentarily. It looks like. Yep,
Ben
we
Mir.
are off. And they're basically already in sync. Did my job for me. And in case anyone unfamiliar in chat is wondering why they occasionally see trigger plus some number on jogilbee's screen, that's part of the multiplayer patch. It doesn't actually affect this game. And yes, as Ace says in chat, this track is brutal. As are all of the tracks on this planet, Barunda.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much the... Oh! Nacho crashed! Jogglebee narrowly avoided, now they're neck and neck.
Wow, yes, this is incredibly close. Jogglebee actually a few tenths ahead of Nacho in the first lap.
Oh! Nacho crashed! They were off by only 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, but now Jogglebee is probably 3 or 4 seconds ahead of Nacho. This is very impressive stuff from Jogglebee. He's taking some safer lines, but he looks very comfortable here on one of the hardest tracks in the game.
Using the most optimal pod, which is really difficult to use here too, and Ben, who's the track favorite.
Yes, yeah, Ben's impressive speed plus his middling turn rate makes him very difficult to use. Nacho going a bit of a safer way around the rocks, and another
Whoa,
crash!
Crashed again!
Wow.
This is insane to watch.
Yeah, Nacho looks very uncomfortable on this track right now. I don't think he was expecting a newcomer to pick something quite this ambitious.
Yeah. And he went flat out ambitious. Picked Inferno with the hard optimal pod too. Ben.
Yeah, and I mean, again, he's taking some safe lines. For example, around that rock he just went around, it's actually a little faster to go to the left.
But it's supremely difficult to do with Ben.
Yes,
It's
incredibly difficult.
It's much easier to do with Mars and Bullseye. And a deathless run from Jogilbee at a 242.
Wow, very impressive stuff. A full 3 seconds ahead of Nacho there. All right, we'll have to see what Nacho uses to counterpick now. It's his turn. He holds all the power, and he bans Ben. That makes a lot of sense. That's going to probably force using Bull's Roar, which Nacho should be very confident with.
And was the... Do a Milestar 100, no upgrades.
Yeah, Jogglebee banned Death Row's Revenge there, and yeah, like we thought, no upgrades force.
Yes, Nacho is one of the best players in this game at no upgrades. He knows it very well.
This should be a masterclass, one would hope, in how to play this game without any upgrades.
Yeah, and without upgrades, Bull's Roar is the fastest by a wide margin, but he's super, super hard to use. On the Nintendo 64, he handles so badly without upgrades that Ben is actually more reliable and faster on most cases. I have no idea what he's picking.
Looks like a little bit of uncertainty there. He hovered Bull's Roar for a while, which says to me he knows that that's the optimal pick.
Okay, he's
And he's
going
going
with
with
Bulls.
it. We'll see how jogilbee handles this pod. Bulls is very fast, but his handling is truly atrocious. He has the worst combination of terrible turning and terrible traction.
Yeah, lowest traction in the game with I think the second or third lowest max turn rate.
That's a good
Yeah.
point, as King Bean Dip says in Twitch chat there. So Bulba is actually a reasonable choice in no upgrades because he can leverage his incredible cruising speed. And he's a little bit easier to handle than Bulls, but he is slower.
Yeah. In between them is Ben.
Alright, and they're off.
I know Nacho did this often last year, where he would do Mount Star 100 no upgrades. And we have a nice sync for once. Okay.
Whoa. What just happened there?
He's
I
just jumped. Here's the hairpin. Ooh!
Yeah, I think I must have made a mistake there. That's my fault.
There he goes. Catches fire. Ooh, you shouldn't be doing that with Bulls. His repair rate is so atrocious that if you take heavy damage with Bulls without upgrade, you might as well crash. And
Okay, there we go. Apologies about the syncing issue.
And you can tell. Oh wow. Okay, they're neck and neck, but the heat management by Nacho is just far superior.
Yeah, Nacho only a little bit ahead. That's surprising for his own counterpick. Joby is really impressing me today.
Whoa! Can you do the hairpin? Oh! That was a big hit. Can't afford to repair that well with Bulls. He needs to knock it just below the flashing red.
Yeah, he managed to avoid crashing there, but that hairpin is devilish, I think is the only term for it. It's interesting because Bulls' low traction actually helps him there, but...
Here we go, final hairpin. Whoa! Crashes in the hairpin! Okay. He has a flashing red engine. 221. 225. Jeez, that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, this is some very impressive racing from jogilbee to be able to hold his own against Nacho on these tracks.
Now I have NachoBrado at match point.
Alright, it's jogilbee's play. He has not used any forces yet, so we'll see if he pulls out all the stops here on something he has prepared.
Banning Bulls. Baruchos from Nacho.
General, seems like a sort of a general purpose ban there. Baru Coast is a track where things can go very, very wrong very, very quickly.
Saboba's Legacy.
Not pulling out any forces.
This shall be interesting because this was a skip last year and it got demoted, so now you can use the wall hop with impunity.
Yeah, and I assume we will be seeing Nacho doing that. I wonder if jogilbee is confident in that. It can be deceptively tricky. It looks fairly simple. You just bounce over the little bump on the wall, but it's very easy to crash on the other side of it. Then again, jogilbee has been doing incredibly well this whole match, so I would not be surprised to see that he knows how to do it as well. For those of you who may be new to watching this game, the frame rate directly affects basically every part of this game's physics, from traction to turn rate to fall speed. I guess turn rate is an inaccurate way to say that, but you turn a little tighter when you have higher FPS due to the increased effective traction. It also makes sliding much harder the higher you go. So there is sort of an optimal FPS to run each track at, so that's why you're seeing the runners changing around there.
And Nacho going with Bullseye.
Huh, that is
He's
surprising for me.
He's actually way more reliable at doing that ride than Ben. Ooh, going with Ben.
Right. It's as you say, yeah, that's a risky pick.
Here we go. Nacho with Bullseye versus jogilbee with Ben. Match point for Nacho. This shall be really interesting. And this is the first match of Sebulba's Legacy with the skip demoted too. So I'm really curious to see how this goes too.
It looks like we are off. jogilbee starting just a bit before Nacho.
Yeah. He's not in this part where it just can kill you easily, and it's so tense waiting to see this upcoming seconds. Oh, they're about even. Whoa!
Wow, Nacho crashes.
Nacho dies!
There's actually a lot of ways you can crash right there, including a crash plane in the floor.
Nope, jogibee's taking the shorter line, taking the longer route. 41, 43.
Yeah, and you can really see the time save there of that jump.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Bullseye is a lot more reliable at. In fact, that's where my record for this track when it was skips was done with. It was with Bullseye. Whoa, he misses it completely!
Yeah, that puts jogilbee actually into the lead.
Oh! He's taking the safer route. Nacho has to go risky. Ooh!
And it'll bring
now
him
it's
back.
Really close. Okay.
Crossing that finish line
into
almost
the
exactly at the same time.
Come on.
Looks like.
Oh!
Oh,
I
there's
think
a
that
crash.
seals it.
Yeah, I think that does it as well. jogilbee has been really struggling, it looks like, to find out where to use his boost. He's been on really low heat this whole time. Which, of course, is the boost is Ben's main strength.
And 201 for Nacho. Ooh, he falls off. Ooh.
An unfortunate end there for jogilbee. He was looking really solid until that last lap.
Yeah. Hey, Nacho.
Hi. Well, that was something.
Yeah, that was a very exciting match.
Not really
And
what happened there on Sebulba's Legacy. I somehow missed the optimal path on lap 2, and I turned around. I'm like, nope, I'm not going that way. I'm going the right way.
yeah, it's funny when you miss optimal paths like that, the familiarity is gone. So it's even worse than just being slower.
Yeah. GG's, jogilbee, for knocking a point off me.
Yeah, for sure.
Was not expecting that. I don't. Something about Inferno. I just wasn't feeling it, and I crashed maybe 4 or 5 times. It was awful. Yeah.
Yeah, I was feeling all good about it, so that's why I decided to go to Sebulba's.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. I was gonna say too is that you took the long way, jogilbee, and last year what Nacho did would have been considered a skip, but it got demoted, so it's no longer a skip, and you can do it with impunity.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, that little wall jump is legal and skipless now. But I have to say, very impressive stuff from you, jogilbee. Those were several very close races within a few seconds, and then taking
Yeah.
Inferno in that fashion. You looked very strong there.
Yeah, Inferno was, I guess, just one of my favorites. Helps me not, crash in the pressure like I did on Ando Prime a couple times on that first lap. Or else that would have probably been a closer one, yeah.
And
Yeah.
and how close you came to Nacho with no upgrade bowls on M100 was astounding too.
Yeah. So I crashed during the hairpin on lap 3. Kind of caught me off guard. I think I just nicked the inside of the turn because I kind of started my drift too early.
You didn't use bowls, did you?
I did,
Both
yeah.
use bowls.
Oh, okay. You got 5 whole seconds. I must not have been using my boost, right?
Yep, that's
yeah.
that's exactly what I could tell because you were so used to the max upgrade boost patterns that you overheated too quick. And the trick with no upgrades is to use the booster really sparingly so you can cool down.
Okay.
Yeah, longer boosts are generally better than short multiple boosts in no upgrade scenario. Yeah, other than that, that was a you definitely kept me on my toes the entire time. Like, after that, that drive line was pretty shaky too, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, I was feeling pretty nervous there. I was wanting to be real bold about the pick, but couldn't keep up with my own nerves. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, who did you end up using on that one?
I practiced slide. What about you?
Okay. Generally, the pick is Neva Key if you don't have bulls either.
Okay.
I bet if you would have picked Neva, I bet that would have been a lot closer. Definitely.
Or even Mars.
True.
Yeah, that was another match within 5 seconds. So one more death either side, or one more death from Nacho's side, or a faster pod from jogilbee. Yeah, potentially could have sealed it.
Well, I don't have anything else to add if you guys don't.
Yeah, just
I
happy
don't
to be
think-
here. Had a good time.
No. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. The Inferno one was just insane to watch.
I gotta watch that one back.
That was
I
I think, the most competitive match we've had so far.
Originally, I was trying to practice it so, like the turn into I think the last set of rocks where I boosted up the ramp and then stopped midway so that I was originally trying to boost through those rocks, but the hitboxes are so large on those tiny rocks.
Yeah, I think I tried doing that lap 1, and that was a huge mistake. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going around next time.
Yep, and I don't have much to say either. I think we can end it right here.
Yeah, I think so. Congratulations to Nacho for picking up a win, and congratulations to jogilbee for taking a track off of him. That is no easy task.
Congrats, thanks guys.
Now you made my my match versus Dom that much more on the line. Because now we both have 1 loss. That'll be something. And I'm looking forward to your guys' match, Knock and jogilbee. That'll be a very close one.
Yeah, I need to get myself into shape, it seems.
Yeah, I need to do some studying.
Thank you again to the runners and to Speed Gaming for hosting this as ever. Awesome that we have 3 years in a row now.
Good luck, everyone. May the force be with you.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Have a good night.